In this lesson, we'll be taking a look at some strategy examples for IELTS general reading. So we'll have a read through a passage and then we'll see two examples of different ways that you can go about answering questions. Strategies can be shown for all question types, but generally speaking, I just like to show students a couple of different strategies and steps to answering. And really, these can be applied to pretty much any question type. So let's begin. We have all these question types here. So these are the common question types: multiple choice, identifying information, matching information, and on it goes. In this lesson, we'll take a look at just two strategies and steps. We'll sort of go through the examples together for multiple choice and identifying information. So we'll talk about the different steps for answering these questions. And that gives you a good foundation for really answering any question type. Again, we're taking steps towards you answering and completing tests independently. Okay, common question strategies. So here is our passage that we'll be working on in this lesson. The benefits of daily walks. Straight away, I'm thinking it's about health, it's about fitness. So that gives it, the title gives a good indication of what the passage will be about. Now, what I would suggest you do is pause here and read through the passage. Don't spend 2 minutes reading through carefully. Just spend 20 seconds. Time yourself reading through this passage now. Okay, I'll assume that you paused the video and had a quick read through. The reason I said don't read through super carefully is because you won't get a chance to do this in the IELTS reading test. Okay, so you've had a quick scan through the text. You've got an idea of some of the key information. Here's an example of a question type, multiple choice question. What is the primary benefit of daily walks mentioned in the passage? So, first thing to note is that actually there's a few different benefits mentioned, whether it's sort of cardiovascular, whether it's weight management, whether it's mental well-being. I've highlighted a passage here. And let's take a look at the strategy. So first up, we've got read the question to identify the main topic. What is the primary benefit? If the question only said what's the benefit of daily walks, it would be impossible to answer. But it's saying what is the primary, aka most important. Okay, so read the question, identify the main topic, think about key vocabulary within the question too. Then eliminate obviously incorrect options. So I need to go back to the text and have a read through. Now I've highlighted some text here. Walking, a form of cardiovascular exercise, tremendously supports heart health by improving circulation and reducing the risk of heart-related issues. Okay, now the next passage, or the paragraph underneath, talks about weight management, and then it goes on to talk about well-being. But the key word here is tremendously support heart health. And really, we can link that more closely to being the primary benefit. It's not exactly the same, but because it says tremendously supports heart health, we can pretty much infer and sort of think ahead that that means it's the primary benefit mentioned in the text. So I'll eliminate A, building muscles. I'll eliminate C, weightlifting. That means that I'm left with the most relevant answer, enhancing cardiovascular health, which again, that cardiovascular is mentioned in the highlighted orange passage. There you go. So that's an example of answering a question in terms of thinking about steps to answering a question. Read the question carefully, then return to the text and scan through to find key information, eliminate wrong answers, and then try and be as accurate as you can. That's kind of a general process that you can use in order to answer IELTS general reading questions. Let's take a look at one more example. And here is our question. Identifying information question type. According to the passage, what is mentioned as an accessible choice for individuals of all ages and fitness levels? Answer in one word. This is key. If it said answer in one word only, and I was to write an answer that was 2 words, even if I was kind of really close, I would not score. You have to stick to the rules that the question set. So only one answer for this. Now, what I would suggest here is that you pause the video, give yourself 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and try and find the answer. So pause the video now, and then I'll talk about my strategy for this. Okay, I'll assume that you have your answer. Let's take a look at my strategy now. Up first, I've highlighted a keyword here. Super important. You can do this within your own text too. Feel free to underline, highlight key information. Now, what I've done is I've seen the words used in a question, and I've also seen it in the passage. That doesn't always mean that it's going to be, in the right location. The answer will be in the right location in the passage, but it does help a little bit to do that, to find these keywords. So I've highlighted the whole passage there. I've underlined accessibility. Let's take a look at the strategy. So focus on the main topic of the passage. So according to the passage, what is mentioned as an accessible choice? So accessible choice for all ages and fitness levels. Identify keywords. So in orange, that second sentence in orange, accessibility is mentioned in the question. Ideal choice for all ages and fitness levels. So actually I can see some of the language is used both in the passage and in the question. So that means I'm going to go back to the text and read that carefully. Walking is a form of cardiovascular exercise. Its accessibility makes it an ideal choice for individuals of all ages and fitness levels. That is, I know now that the answer is in the passage highlighted orange because there's so much matching language between the question and the information in the passage. Therefore, my answer is walking. Now, that brings us to the end of a second strategy guide. It's not really strict that you follow these steps exactly, but what I wanted to show you is generally a rough idea of how you can go through and read the question carefully, underline and highlight key information in the reading passage, and then you can return to the question, go back to the passage and find matching information or key language, and then zone in to a smaller piece of the reading and try and find your answer that way. That's kind of a common way of answering questions, is jumping back between the question and the text, underlining key information and trying to zone down where you think the answer will be. And of course, as with this example, stick to the rules of the question. So answer in one word. It'll often say in the IELTS, answer in 2 words or something like that. Okay, so one last thing I want to say, 2 top reading strategies, skim and scan. It's almost a rhyme of some sort. So in the next lesson, we'll be looking at the reading skills of skimming and scanning. So that means basically quick reading. So it's speedy reading without super deep comprehension. And that's what we do a lot of in the test. Skim and scan, and also highlighting keywords is really useful too. You saw in my examples here that I was highlighting and underlining key information, which you can also do during your IELTS general reading test. So there you go, 2 examples of us working through some question types. Up next, let's take a deeper dive into the skills of skimming and scanning.